Bring in Don Kottick. He's the CEO of Sotheby's International Realty Canada. Don, I want to say it's just the easy answer. It's low interest rates fueling the housing market, not just in this country and around the world, but you're on the ground with a lot of these buyers and sellers. Is the answer more nuanced than that?
Well, it's interesting because I think it is a much deeper kind of answer to what's going on. Clearly, we have low interest rates. We're sitting at unprecedented, historic low inventory, but there's a number of influences that are going on right now in the market. I think, as John said, there's been an accumulation of wealth to the tune of, 200 billion that has been accumulated by Canadians during COVID. We're also starting to undergo the great generational wealth transfer, which is in the neighborhood of estimated to be $1 trillion. And then you have these kind of multi-generational influences that are coming into the market right now. You've got the millennials, and the millennials are, representing potentially 10 million individuals. And their home buying needs are, basically, they're a lot of them are foregoing the first-time home buyer market and going right to single-family homes. Then you have the baby boomers that are probably, we're looking to transition to their next level home. And as a result of COVID, they've decided to go to their ultimate home, and a lot of them can't find properties, so they don't put their homes on the market. And then to top this off, with COVID, we have shifting buyer needs and wants. And then it creates this pent-up demand for buyers where you get this first fear of missing out kind of scenario that's going on. And then coupled with all of this, Canada has become a global destination. So all of these factors are driving the market. And I think at the end of the day, we don't even have immigration yet. Wait till we get immigration. But it looks like, if you analyze the root cause of where we are, and it's the same place we were pre-COVID, it comes down to supply and demand. We have not addressed the supply issue, and that's why we're paying the price right now. So until we address supply, we will have this ongoing problem. And it's not a matter of governments addressing demand. They have to address long-term supply issues.
So I'm with you. I'm in the market right now and I'm looking for houses, and I do see some anecdotal evidence that perhaps it's not as frenzied as some of these numbers suggest. Yes, we're seeing large year-over-year price increases, but talk to me about what we're seeing in terms of the listing price, because I'm seeing a lot of homes around these price range not necessarily go significantly above what they've listed for. If listers or sellers are too greedy, they've had to knock down these prices. So it's not just any home will go. You are seeing some evidence that it's not that frenzy out there. Yes, these prices are high, but greediness is not necessarily being rewarded. Do you have stats on how quickly these homes are going after they list, or what they're going for relative to what they've listed at?
Well, I think one of the things that you're experiencing is real estate is a neighborhood by neighborhood kind of industry. So certain neighborhoods are more in demand than other neighborhoods. And I think one of the things that we find is, anybody that overlisted, kind of the gap between those people that overlisted and the market rate has somewhat narrowed. But I think what's happened is, this phenomena that we're seeing right now in Canada is all across North America. And what's happened is people have, they've changed the kind of the geographic radius of where they'll buy a home. It used to be urban, then it progressed to suburban, then it's gone to rural. And so you've got, even though there's a lack of inventory, the pool has spread out. And that's probably why you might see things not as frantic as sometimes you're hearing about. But if a property is priced right, it is going to go off the market. And, there's certain areas where some buyers are getting frustrated because they're constantly in a multiple buyer situation. And I think one of the things we're hoping that after Passover, after Easter, we're hoping that people bring more inventory on into the market, and hopefully that will satisfy some more buyers. But I keep coming back that this is a long-term. This is a solution. This is a problem that's been here a long time, and we need the municipal, the provincial, the federal governments to all line up and start doing things that are going to allow us to add more inventory stock across the entire housing spectrum. And that's the only thing that's going to fix this. It can't be a tax on capital gains. It can't be something that penalizes the demand side. That's not going to have the desired effect. It's going to create unintended consequences. So what the government really needs to do is look at this long term, work together, add more inventory stock, and it could be maybe reducing development charges. It could be opening up basement apartments. There's so many different things that they could be doing, but eventually removing the red tape that allows homes to be added faster to our community. And that's the only thing that's going to help this situation and also help the affordability issue.
Don, let's just talk about the global nature of real estate. You alluded to this earlier, the desirability of some of the hotter Canadian markets versus other big cities, for example, around the world. Can you give us some context on how much global demand there has been during the pandemic, and what is the motivating factor if there are people who aren't living here right now who are eyeing luxury properties in this country if the pandemic has restricted their ability to even be here?
Well, yeah, sure. I think there's a number of different kind of groups here. We have the expats that obviously they could hold a permanent residency here. They might have gone to live somewhere else, and they are looking to come back. So that we definitely are seeing a lot of interest from expats. In terms of the international buyers, we're seeing interest. We had a case of a buyer in Taiwan that wanted to move to, Vancouver. They were kind of concerned about things happening there. So there's a lot of interest, but until the travel restrictions are eased, I don't think we're going to see the full extent of it. I think one of the things that's happened during this period is, Canada is just getting much stronger as a global center from a technology and financial perspective, and that's attracting more people. I think our reputation is pretty stellar. We're also seeing interest from a lot of Americans that are looking to come up here. There's a lot of Mexicans that are considering coming to Canada as well. I think we're now kind of the most attractive and welcoming country probably in the world. But then we have the technology and financial initiatives that are underway. We have the technology corridors that are attracting top talent, top organizations, coupled with our quality of life standards, where we always rank at the top. So it's made Canada very, very attractive, and that's why we're seeing growth all across the country. Mind you, much of the growth we're seeing right now is domestic driven. There definitely appears to be a lot of pent-up demand internationally that will come to Canada once we open up the borders.